which means beautiful marsh. It is a fine example of an Edwardian concentric castle designed by Canada.
So now for our vocabulary portion, where first we have the outer curtain, which is the lower outside curtain that is the first defense when you try to break into this place. Now for the inner curtain, which is the second defense, and much, much higher, with all its turrets, with the battlements, and over here you can see allures, which is where our were. And now inside there's our bailey, which is pretty much usually meant to be the village, but also can just be like the inside of the castle, where there's also the keep, which when you look inside here, there's our great hall and great chamber, where the lord slept, the great hall. Please. Sorry about that. But so now we have our outer gate and in our outer gates, and in our inner gates, as you can see here, there's the boss. By the way, the B does not stand for boss, it stands for Beaumaris. And the arch. The boss was the center stone to keep the arch up. Now back to our bailey, where we have the buttery, which is where they store all the wine. It's pretty much a giant pantry. And for one of the best, first is the moat, which you probably already know. It was a key feature in all castle designs of having water, because back in medieval times, barely anyone knew how to swim. In the outer curtains, a very important detail is these arrow loops, where guards would hide behind here, where people couldn't attack them, but they could still shoot out of these arrow loops. There's the battlement up here, which kind of was the same thing as the arrow loops, except at the top. And now finally, we have the dungeon, which is right here. And the murder holes, which is my personal favorite. Guards would go up here and poison all sorts of stuff, such as hot oil, and sometimes even poop or pee through them in extreme emergencies. It was pretty unique to castles and defense mechanisms, and was used quite thoroughly. Thank you for listening, and now we're going to our battle scene.
So here you can see the armies marching in, and a flaming arrow has been shot. They all die! Some escape. One escapes. He runs over to the main gate. Oh, look at this. He's gonna go all the way in. Oh, he might get inside the castle. Here he goes. Oh no, the murder holes! The murder holes! Ah! Oh.
Over to Isla for some interesting facts about the history of this beautiful castle.
Okay, thank you, Adam. That was a very interesting thing on our battle. But now, the history of Beaumaris Castle is very interesting. It was besieged and taken by Welsh forces during the rebellion of Owain Glyndwr before retaken by the English in 1405. William Davies, the famous person that you probably all know, was imprisoned there, taken by parliamentarians but not destroyed because of tactical importance. Actually, you probably don't need those because it is very tactical importance. It was known for being big. Don't know why that's written on my notes. Last royal stronghold built by Edward I, who was a very great king, and its name means fair marsh, not soggy marsh. Okay, and now a bit about the construction, because that was very important. It went from 1295 to the 1330s was its construction. It was hard to manage with the wet, marshy terrain because the rocks kept on sinking buildings, but they did manage it, and now it's really fun. It had easy materials because there was local limestone limestone mines, which is interesting. In medieval times, limestone was, since it was so common, limestone was the number one stone used for all castles, and is a unit. Okay, so in the future, we don't know how we saw in the future, it will be a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Not now, though, because that's not a thing. Plans were first made in 1284 by James of St. George. Thanks to our unidentified and anonymous things for giving us these interesting facts, some of them rare, rather strange, and multi-dimensional, dry-breaking space-time, but they're facts.